Just as I'm about to press the stream button, my wife gives me a call. Yes, we call from floor to floor. Because when she's 2 or 3 floors up, that's a lot easier. Anyways, the finger of God. The finger of God. Oh, what the hell's going on over here? It's over here. We need to enlighten. Yes, that's what it was. Needed to put some light on it. So I'm experimenting a little bit with the controls. I seem to look a tad bit orange right now. I'm the orange man. So let's see if we can adjust that. Live adjustment. This is a feature of this video blog that you won't get anywhere else. Live video adjustment. How to take the orange out. We're going to go to color correction and we'll do a little hue shift. Put a little green. It's a little bit too much. Maybe we need to take some saturation out. Yeah, now we're getting more natural. Now it looks like I just have a tan. Bear's a little rugged. Alright. We're good to go now. How's it look? Am I tolerable? Which is my good side? Need a shave. The Plunge protection team came to the rescue today and saved the market. That's right. In common parlance, what is the Plunge protection team? Well, let's take a look and see if we can find out. Yeah, we'll go over here. Plunge protection team. According to Investopedia, the Plunge Protection Team is a colloquial name given to the working group on financial markets. The working group. The Plunge Protection Team was originally created to provide financial and economic recommendations in the wake of turbulent market times. Members of the team are the Secretary of the Treasury, the Chairman of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve, the Chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the chairman of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. Those last two, at least some Bitcoiners are somewhat familiar with them. So I guess they all get together and smoke weed and say, hey, what do you think, man? Let's not let this thing get out of hand, okay? So that's very interesting. But what do they do? The Plunge Protection Team was coined by the Washington Post in 1997. Although the team had a visible purpose when initially created, conspiracy theorists suspected that the team was created to shore up or even manipulate the markets. Some suspected, only some, that the team could execute trades on several exchanges and manipulate the markets when they were heading downward. The team was believed to collaborate only with big banks such as Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley, all the usual suspects, to report only to the president and to keep no records of trades. Yes, I think the Trumpster. I sent President Trump a note. I said, hey, I think it's time to issue the Plunge Protection Team. Now, I'm not saying that he saw my note. I'm sure that there were many people like myself that did the same thing. As a matter of fact, I know my business partner did the same thing. And he sees those notes and he says, yeah, you're right. Time to initiate the PPT, the Finger of God! So, when did the Plunge Protection Team come into being? according to Investopedia. In 1989, the then president, Ronald Reagan, he was the very first president that I ever voted for back in 1980. I was 20 years old. Created the President's Working Group on Financial Markets after 2 stressful events. And we know those were very stressful because they both followed the Jimmy Carter era, where he had high rate of taxes up to 78%. Holy shit! The stock market crash in 1987 and the near crash in 1989. The group acted as an advisor group on the markets for the president and regulators. However, others suspected the group to be capable of more nefarious activity and possibly capable of rigging the stock market in turbulent times. No, say it isn't so! This theory was further strengthened when Robert Heller, a former governor of the Federal Reserve, gave a speech confirming suspicions surrounding the working group. The working group. The working group is a euphemism. Is a euphemism for the chairman of the board of the Federal Reserve, the chairman of the Security and Exchange Commissions, the chairman of the Commodity and Futures Trading Commission, and all reporting to the president. The POTUS. That is the Plunge Protection Team. And it is my suspicion that today they were gathered and put to work to save this market from an unnecessary slashing. Actually, you know, what they probably did was they got Jerome Powell in there and they get him into a room and they say, "Jerry, baby, what the fuck? What the fuck are you doing? We're trying to elevate the market, not be a downer. You're a buzzkill, Jerry." Yeah, so Jerry's skating on thin ice. The Plunge Protection Team. So they say that similar activity was noted during the financial crisis of 2007 and 2008 when telephone calls between the then Treasury Secretary Hank Paulson and Wall Street actors. They have actors on Wall Street? Like Jordan Belfort or like Leonardo DiCaprio? Is that what they're talking about? Or Steve Carell? Or, you know, who the fuck are they talking about? Who are these actors? These actors were recorded on days when the stock market was tanking and a downward spiral required reversal. I am thankful for the Plunge Protection Team today, by the way. Still had some margin left. Getting close. It's kind of tough when you think that, okay, you put on positions, initial positions that take up maybe 15% of your capital in terms of margin, and the market goes down so far that you're left with just 5% capital. 5% on top of your margin, 5% headroom. And then the Plunge Protection Team comes in, sweeps it up. Field goal! Goal! And the market goes shooting up. And all was good. Since the financial crisis of 2000, let's see, did I read that already? No, I didn't. Of 2007, 2008, many countries overtly rig their stock market, including Japan and China. Wow, I never heard of that. Countries, they rig their stock market? Holy crap! Where's Batman? This type of activity can be effective in the short term, but if equity markets are artificially inflated, the bubble will eventually burst. Well, I don't think we're in any jeopardy of creating a bubble here. That's for sure. The Dow, here's the Dow. This is the YM E-mini futures. Represents the Dow 30, the Dow Industrial Average, the 30 largest stocks. Supposed to be industrial stocks, but that went out a long time ago. They're not really industrial stocks. I guess they're industrial in our era. But look at that tail. Let's see if we can get that out there so you can see that tail. Look at that tail. That is a hammer. That is a hammer with a long, long handle. Yep. There you are. All right, and we're down just a hair right now after that. I suspect that we will probably get a little volatility here tomorrow, and then we're going to start going up. Because the plunge protection team don't just do this on a one-term thing and say, okay, we're done, we're going. No, they keep their eye on it and say, better go up, or we're going to have to do our work again. And each time they're looking at Jerry like, fuck you, man. Fuck you. Holy shit, Jerry. All right. So, I think that the markets are going to go up from here. Probably the start of the Santa Claus rally, and we'll just move on. All right, to your comments. See what you have to say. I got to shake Reagan's hand in 1976. It was a big deal for the hayseed. It's so cool. Casper the Ghost. Bitcoin is falling, so it can bounce more easily to 15K. Yes, the harder it falls, the harder it will come up. No, I think it's the higher it goes, the faster it falls. Which will happen by December 26th. Like Tom Lee says, Bitcoin will go to 2,000. By the end of the year, it should go up to 15,000. It's my imitation of Tom Lee. PA93. I wonder what that stands for. Tom Lee is the Bitcoin plunge protection team. No, he's not. He's a feckless fool that comes on to CNBC. That's all he is. I've never seen a single call he's ever made to come out. Ever! Dr. Zayas is asking me if I'm in any yield curve trades right now. No, the answer is no. I am 100% long on indexes. Hey, Tyler, how you doing? Tyler wants to know, are we going to still see all-time highs by the end of the year? Now, that's a good question. I don't know. But I think that we will have a Santa Claus rally. It will be welcome. And I do believe that we will at least break, what is this on the Dow, this 26,250 mark. Now, will we go all the way? The all-time high here was 26,956. That means it basically would have to break, 27. That's a good question. I don't know. I really don't know. My inclination is yes, if the plunge protection team did their job thoroughly. Should I sell? Should I buy the dip? I do not provide any kind of guidance. That is not my job. My job is to entertain you and to educate you, but not to give you advice, because that would be illegal. Hey, Pyramid Backwards. Tom Lee is the Bitcoin false prophet. That is closer. You look tired and beaten down. Really? I don't really sound tired. I don't feel tired. Like I said, I was working on the color correction there a bit. So, you know, maybe that has something to do with it. Knowing that no Plunge protection team can save us from what's coming. Well, I'll tell you, the move was, it was a spectacular move. 2 days of just huge down days, and I was not prepared for that. But once we start going down, you know, it's like, when's it going to stop? I mean, like I said, I had a margin position that that should have been able to handle it. And it did. The margin position definitely handled it. For sure. But it was nip and tuck there. Really was. Alan, thank you very much. Yes, show Ernie some love. Smash some likes, everyone. Please, yes, do that. Why only 49 people? I don't get that. This is such a great show. That's okay. We have engagement with the audience. We're going for quality, not quantity. Casanova says the ESF saved the market today. What is the fucking ESF? The ESF. Hey, Ernie, how many bars do you keep for your volume profile indicator? 100 lines? No, I think mine's set to 200 lines. But I've got a big monitor. I've got a 27-inch monitor here, and I've got a 27-inch monitor here. This one here is a 2K monitor. This one here is a 5K monitor. So I can get a lot of resolution, and so I want lots of bars. Can you see the Dow making a double bottom at 23K, then going back up to 30K plus? Why? Why would it go down there? It's just like it's like a random comment or something. I'm not sure what the impetus behind that is. Wasn't Jerome Powell put in the job by Trump? So Trump picked a jamoke. You know, trying to find somebody that will do your bidding and at the same time stay independent is very difficult. You've even seen this in SCOTUS picks, Supreme Court picks, where someone thought that they were a devout conservative and they end up being very liberal or a swing vote. So you never really know. You never know. And that's why the president at least has the ability to fire their asses unless they get their shit together. Something like Jeff Sessions. Sorry, Uncle, not trying to troll. I'll shut up for answering my cue. What cue was that, Tyler? I answered it, right? Oh, you were claiming that I look tired. That's okay. I don't take offense to anything, by the way. I may yell at you, but it has nothing to do with me taking offense or not. I yell at people because mostly they deserve it. Wakes them up. Hayseed says, Occam's razor. Hey, let's try that. Hayseed says, Occam's razor.
Occam's razor is the problem-solving principle that the simplest solution tends to be the correct one. Do you want me to keep reading?
No! Finally, Siri just, said something instead of, oh, I'd like to refer you to this website. Occam's razor says cheap oil is the only way out. No. I would say cheap oil, reduce regulation, low taxes, all that stuff. All of it has to come together. Adway says, is a sale. It's a sale. What the hell are you talking about? I don't know. John P., how you doing? John asks, is it time for the millennial depression? very unprepared, and baby boomers' retirement wiped out. Oh, Exchange Stabilization Fund. How you doing, Maximus? Thompson Trucking. All the Fibonacci traders seen the dump coming. No, they didn't. See, they see dumps coming all the time. And so the one time that they're right, all of a sudden they're right. That's fucking bullshit. Bullshit! Sorry. Tyler Cobb, you got blocked? By what? By who? By whom? Hi, Ernie. What now? How to deal with it? It's pretty simple. The market's going to go up from here. Like I said, there'll probably be some volatility, but it is very obvious that the market does not want to go down below there. We have a massive bullish hammer. I suspect that we'll start moving up here over the coming days. We'll start, not too far away from, in terms of price, to getting to even. And once we get beyond that, there should be some good profit coming into the end of the year. So that's hold the course. Now, like I said, when I went into this position, fairly heavy, I was slightly up or even, and put on my initial trade a couple days ago was maybe 5% of my total margin, maybe 6%. Now, when you put on 5 to 6% total margin, you think to yourself, even in a crash, man, there's nothing going to affect me, nothing. And the market moved down a little bit during that day, and I added some more. I got up to 15% total margin. Now, 15% margin of a total account, that's not a lot. That should even handle major crashes. It should. But we went down hard 2 days in a row. Really hard, straight down. And so that was a little scary, I mean, if you go back, I don't recall seeing too many other days quite like that. Let's see if we can find some days like that. I would say, okay, this day here in the beginning of February. And that day, I would have been much more cautious, by the way, after a huge long run-up like this, where the difference is here we're in a consolidation, so this didn't make sense. Here, we're in a huge run-up, and we have negative divergences at the top. This one made sense. This was, hey, I should have been short here, But, if we kept on going, let's see, let's do a little auto here. Is there another time where we had another move like that? None of these moves. These moves are over multiple days. 1, 2, 3, 4 days. And not as much. That's not as much. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 days. You could play this and then trade this intraday and make lots of money. And probably never, get up to the amount of, 15% margin would be nothing. You'd be trading in and out of that. But the one that we had, that was just basically 2 days. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. So, again, unusual. Certainly an outlier. I don't know how else to explain that. So Maximus is asking, what saved the market today? I mean, you saw the title. You may not have joined us in the very beginning, but what saved us, in my opinion, was the Plunge protection team. The president assembled the team They all cornered Jerome Powell and said, "What the fuck, man?" And they did what was necessary to push this market up. You know, I'm sure Trump is there saying, look, we're playing right into the opposition's hands. This is what they want. They want the market to go down. They want to destroy this presidency. And you're helping them. I'm sure he used much more harsh words than that. I'm positive of it. John P., a Great Depression to push the socialist millennial narrative to the horizon. My generation hates freedom. I know. Or you're at least getting used to having limited forms of freedom, which is really bad. Dr. Zayas wants to know, would you have closed any positions if your margin requirement got too large? I would have got a margin call. Would have had to. But I had about 5 to 10%, depending on which account it was, of margin left. And we were right at the bottom here where these other down days came. And so there was incredible support there. And of course, with the Plunge protection team coming in, they solved that problem. So, yeah, big gamble. But it happens so quick, you just get snared, you know? You know, where do you take? Do you take it off and then just take a huge loss? I suppose you could have taken it off and then said, take a chance that it's going to go down further, but how do you know that? You don't know that. And then if it goes up, then you look like an idiot. Well, so, no, the Exchange Stabilization Fund is not the Plunge protection team. That is probably one aspect of it. Like I said, it requires the coordination of all the financial sector. But I'm sure it may have a significant doings. Alpha Dog. Have the dogs make an entrance that will help with the views. Have the dogs make an entrance that will help with the views. Really. Neo's behind the curtain here. Albeit aside, if anyone has been listening to Ernie for the past month, has helped you save a lot of money, myself included. Cheers again, Ernie. I look forward to when your views turn bullish. Eventually they will turn bullish on crypto, but I fear that that's not going to be for a couple of years. So that means that for the next few years, I'm going to have to figure out how to make that interesting. That's why I'm also looking at pot stocks, because I think that that's going to totally eclipse crypto. Ivan Barbot says, this is our great Sydney time again. Once again, Ernie, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Hard money would bring the left and right together. Terry Hope. I am not sure exactly what that means. But probably not. I'm not sure that money is going to bring the left and the right together. They're both fighting over the money. CNN's getting a bomb threat, so they're using reruns. That's funny. You know, of course, you know, the people on CNBC, too, they seem to be talking the market down and taking great joy in it. That's because there are a bunch of liberal weenies over there. There's a couple of conservatives over there. There's Joe Kernan, Rick Santelli, Michelle Caruso Cabrera. They used to have Melissa Francis, but she went over to Fox. And they used to have Maria Bartiromo, and she also went to Fox. But everybody else, well, Jim Cramer, he's kind of like on the fence. He doesn't give a shit about politics. But everybody else, man, they are lefties to the supreme. I mean, really lefties. They are commie lefties. They are. And they were just loving the market going down. Same way over at Bloomberg. Yeah, it was a 61.8% retracement to the penny. So now you're trying to see, because there's lots of times when it hits 61.8% to the penny and nothing happens. Lots of times. Just because it happened doesn't mean that's why it was. That's a correlation. It's a causation without any real let's see. Well, no, there was both correlation and causation, but that doesn't necessarily mean. So let's see. 61.8%. I'm going to have to take you up on that. Let's find out. And I'm not sure exactly. You know, you have to take it from this point here, the last previous low right here. All right? And we'll see. We shall see. Fib retracement. I call bullshit. It was not a 61.8% retracement. Just wasn't. Yep. I call bullshit. Now, I'm sure that you could probably choose any one of these other lows here and make it fit your narrative. But that doesn't mean it was that level of retracement. It is such bullshit. I mean, it was somewhere between... I gotta put my glasses on. See, it went through 61.8. It was halfway between 61.8 and 78.6. So, total fucking bullshit. All right? So now what we could do is we could start moving up the ladder to these other lows until we find one that hits 61. Now, there's one that hit 76. Let's see, we could go way down here. This low right here hits almost 61. No, that's 50%. Oh, let's try this one here. No. How about this one here? No. No, I can't find any. Let's see. Yeah, bullshit. Total bullshit. To the penny. I don't know what pennies you're using, man. But there it is. All right, maybe we'll go to the ES, all right, because that's the Dow, you know. And the Dow doesn't represent as many stocks, so I'll give you that. And we'll try the ES. So we'll start here. That's the previous low, and to the top, and it almost came down to 786 retracement, almost. Down here it came down below it, but here it came down almost to it. So you know, that's about as close as you're gonna get. I don't know, can we get one that will show 61.8? Maybe here? No. Maybe here? All right, so this low right here, if you choose this low, it does come near 61.8%. All right? So basically what you'd have to do is you'd have to sit there and fart around and try to find the low that fits your fucking narrative and then claim that your Fibonacci magic numbers works. Please. So you don't think algos use some kind of Fibonacci sequence? I know they don't. I've written the algos for a lot of these hedge funds and investment banks and so forth. They do not use it. It's not like I don't think. It's like I know. And I'm telling you that they don't. There might be an odd person here and there that's using the fibs, but nobody is incorporating that into their algos. Yeah, I was sweating bullets. There's no doubt. I'll bet anything. You know, CNN's ratings are probably going down again, and they probably called the bomb threat on themselves. Jobs report is expected to be strong tomorrow. Now, that might actually, Alan, be a bad thing. We don't want it to be too strong because then investors will fear that Jerome will get a hard-on and want to start raising rates again. We don't want it to be too low because then investors will say, man, it looks like the economy's slowing down. And they will get the opposite of a hard-on. They will get shrinkage, you know, like you go out in the middle of the winter or fall into an ice pond or something. What we really want is we want the just right, the Goldilocks number. And I'm not sure exactly. I guess if it hits consensus, that would be good. Take it easy, Casanova. Have a good night. Did you get wrecked on your S&P future longs? No, I did not. Do you plan on averaging down your position? I've already averaged down. I started with a 15%. I'm repeating now because you came in late, so I'm kind of updating you. But it survived, still in the position, still moving ahead. We'll just move it up. As the market goes up, we will finally profit. Skeef Roberts, hey, thank you very much for that comment. I appreciate that. He says, Ernie, you're a machine, so much content every time I go on YouTube. Then why, pray tell, am I not getting more viewers? Why? Well, at least live viewers. I'm getting a good amount of viewers after the fact. I mean, there's a lot of people that watch the videos afterwards, and I'm consistently getting 500, 600, 700 viewers, which is, for a long stream, that's really good. For what I have now, 1,700 subscribers. Every once in a while, I'll get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 views, and that's also very good. So I'm not unhappy, and I just think though that this show has got something that this should attract more people. I'm not sure why they're not attracted to it, or maybe I'm just not doing enough marketing, or maybe you guys aren't doing your job by telling other people about it. Spook says, mathematicians, physicists who understand why fib patterns happen in nature call fib retractions BS. Well, first of all, they happen very rarely in nature. There are some cases. Most people have created narratives around how Fibonacci's are everywhere, and they're not. That's been widely debunked. They do not occur everywhere. There are some certain phenomena that do fit nicely into the fib ratio. There's no doubt. But they don't fit everywhere. And it's not just mathematicians and physicists. It's also other people that have a brain in their head. I have a magic number, 1/0. I'm not sure what that fucking means. 15 minutes past without a Tommy Lee impression. What gives? That? Well, I got a crick in my neck. I'm not a bobblehead. Are those new glasses? No, they're the same old glasses. Well, when I say old, actually they're kind of dirty right now. I originally got these glasses to play pool with. Went to the optometrist, We set up some objects, you know, to simulate pool balls and, you know, distance and everything. I had them make it so that the glasses rode up high, but it still wasn't enough. And so then I went and I got, where is it? I don't know where it is. I got this little device. It's kind of like a bridge. And it actually lifts my glasses up even higher so that when I'm heading down on the shot, it's within sight. But I found that playing pool with these was difficult because what happens is that I lose depth perception. And so I find that it's actually better that I see fuzzy balls, but see them at the proper distance from me than seeing them clearly but having the depth perception off. All right, I'm glad you like the nightly streams. You need to pass the critical mass for your yes for exponential growth. I agree. Just be consistent. I agree 100%. That's exactly how I grew it last time before my channel was deleted. And I noticed that once you, and I'm inching up, you know, I'm just hitting 1700. Next step is 18, 19, 2000. Once you get to 2000, it starts to accelerate a little bit. Once you get to 5000, it starts to just take off. That's what happened last time. I'm getting fewer viewers because I'm getting old. I don't know. Do I act old? What is old? You know, I'm certainly not old in here. I am refined. Like a fine wine, but I am not old. On the ES, do a fib from the high on to October 26th low. I did that, and that's where it is right now. And that's bullshit. Why choose that? All right? There is no fucking reason for choosing the October fucking 26th low because it has no fucking relevance at all. That is bullshit. So get it out of your fucking head. You're a fucking idiot. Hopefully that helps. Stu, try cross-promoting with other YouTubers. You're not getting more viewers because crypto are plummeting down and pips are just not interested. But I'm not really, you know, I do a full featured show here. This is futures, the markets, crypto, weed. I even talk about weed subjects. Maybe I should talk about weed a little bit more. What do you think? You know? And I'm all in when it comes to weed. I mean, people have seen, I've got grow rooms here. I make my own shatter. You know, I've got my own weed. Okay, someone needs to get roasted on the stream. Where's Trad? He hasn't shown up for a little bit. Consistency will pay off, just putting out quality content and the viewers will come. You'll get 1,000 Ethereums when it hits $10. We'll get, I don't know what that means, but congratulations. Yes, fuzzy balls. So that's the bane of my existence. Now I'm like an A player in pool, which is pretty high level. You know, better than 99.9% of the people out there. I'm not an open player, but I'm a good player. And I'm a low A right now. High B, low A. When I was playing consistently, I was a high A, just short of open. Open being a pro. And, yeah, the balls for me now, when I look at them, they're fuzzy. I can't see the outer edge of them, so I have to kind of interpolate where the ball is and shoot, which is a neat trick when you know, if you can't see the balls. And when I rack the balls, a lot of times I don't get a good rack because I can't see them frozen to each other. And I'm kind of guessing. And sometimes I give my opponent a bad rack and then they get pissed off. But I'm trying. Maybe I should just use the glasses when I rack. Maximus says, Ern, you act anything but old. Yes, Thompson Trucking was roasted. Sorry. Just had to happen. I'm so sorry, but look, I've been studying fibs for decades. Decades. And not just here in the markets. I've run simulations, created literally, I wasn't going to say hundreds, but definitely dozens of strategies, probably close to 100 strategies, utilizing fibs in many different ways. Adaptive fib technology. I mean, you wouldn't believe the extent that I've gone through trying to find ways to make it work, and it doesn't. There are some strategies, that I call like third wave strategies that do have, but it's nothing really more than a refined breakout strategy. Ernie, we need deep crystal ball fundamentals so we can make pure trades. I'm not into crystals or Reiki or any of that bullshit. But, if it works for people, then more power to it. I do have this really cool little device here. Look at this. Looks like it should be a weapon or something. Then you put this end on it. And probably never understand what this is used for if you're not into weed. But basically what this does is I can put some weed in here, put this end on it, and then rest it on something. And then I take a rubber hammer, mallet, and then pound it down, and it compresses, makes a little puck out of the weed. Then I can take that little puck and I can put it in my rosin press, my high pressure heat press, in between some parchment paper like this. Then I press it, and it vaporizes the weed, put it under about 3,000 pounds of pressure, completely compresses the weed until I get something like this, a weed chip, and all the vaporized crystalline structures, the trichomes on the pot leaf, they vaporize and then coalesce into like an amber fluid and then come out and they semi-harden. They're like a tar. And that is basically about as pure THC plus terpenes and everything else in it. And you can smoke that, or you can use it for other lixiviants, medicine, cooking, all kinds of things. But vaporizing and smoking in a pen like this with that stuff is really the best way to smoke weed, because you're not taking in any plant material. So we didn't look at Bitcoin, did we? Because I know where it is. So I want you to look at that. There's Bitcoin. There is Bitcoin. And you guys saw me draw this in here. I have the proof of it. I can go back to right here. So here's where I published it in TradingView. All right. So same basic thing that I showed you. I fooled around with it since then and made this a little skinnier, but same thing. And then now we add in the rest of the days. And we can see, and look where I'm pointing, at about 2,500. I believe that will be the next stop, but we'll see. I mean, it could very well stop before then, but I'm pretty sure 2,500 is a good target. So there we are. There's Bitcoin. What is happening back here? Oh, it's over here. Huh. Your kids will pay for your nursing home care with Bitcoin. I don't think so. You guys really have a lot of faith that somehow, in some improbable series of events, is going to become the world currency. Where do you get that from? Let's see. Craig says 1888 Bitcoin bottom. I don't know. It took Alex Jones 20 years to get views. When you give serious stuff, it is hard to get viewers. Well, I'm not worried about getting the viewers. I'm just saying that, I think this is a good show, and I would like to see it prop up. I can't believe that that other guy, Stevenson, or whatever the fuck his name is, that soy boy fucktard, is getting, 500, 600 people on his stream. And the guy he sucks. He's boring as hell. He sucks, and he doesn't even know what he's doing. Why is he? Because he's talking about altcoins and giving people hopium. He's doing the exact opposite of what these people need, and yet they watch him like lemmings. Same thing with Tone Vase. Although, had I kept up with my channel and it hadn't gotten deleted, I'm sure that I would have been past Tone Vase by now. But starting from scratch, that is tough. Is that the signal? I get 10,000 subscribers, you buy Bitcoin. Yeah. Alex Jones did not show contempt for the audience. Well, but see, Spook, I am not Alex Jones. I am Ernie Veritimus. That is me, the trader of futures. I am not trying to be Alex Jones. I'm not trying to be Tone Vase. I'm not trying to be Svensson Dickwad. I'm not trying to be Tyler Jenks and his hype wave. I'm not trying to be any of these people. I'm only trying to be myself. And if you don't like it, fuck off. Are you a proponent of AI? Seems like, well, everybody knows, and I've talked about it a great deal, I do have an artificial intelligence service. And if you like my calls, why aren't you going over there and signing up for that service? We give futures calls, Forex calls, and soon, and we have done already, equities. Although that's going to be a little bit further out because there's some work to be done there. Join the service. It's $99 a month, and you'll like it. I mean, it is a winning service. It's really, really awesome. Seems like it has the potential for humanity, curing disease, for example. However, there are many unknowns. Elon Musk is concerned, as you probably know. I'm not that concerned. AI right now, there isn't any sentient AI yet. When they develop a sentient AI, that's when I'll be worried. Right now, not even close. So yeah, many people are now calling for, you should put in there, now calling for $1,000 Bitcoin. Probably the same people who will buy whole Bitcoins at $2,000. See, they're calling for it now after they've jumped up and down and said it would never go below 7,000, never go below 6,000, never go below 5,000, never go below 4,000. No toking tonight, Anthony. Double it. I don't know what that double it means when cooking with Ernie. Guy's got to stop talking in code. All right. I'm going to try to get through all of these comments. It's hard, you know. You guys put in some good comments. John says, let's see. John P says the government will create their own blockchain currency before Bitcoin is a world currency. Yeah, whatever. Well, thank you, Anthony. Too early to cost average in. That's exactly right, Craig. At first, I was going to start cost averaging it at 4,000, and it came down so fast. I said, "Fuck that, man." I'm not even going to start now until it's under 2. Did you hear Bill Gates say digital assets will help the poor? Like he knows anything about being poor. Bitcoin does have potential for poorer nations, just needs time to develop and rectify its limitations. By then, you know, we could have something completely different. I mean, there are projects out there like Amisigo, for instance, that bring banking to the unbanked. And I think that that is a viable use case for cryptos. I think that it can be done with cryptos or other ways. I'm not saying that crypto is the only way that that problem can be solved. And, you know, there's nothing to say that Bitcoin will be the problem solver there either. I would think that the best way is to bring them all up, bring all their standard of living up, you know, so that they're no longer third world countries. That would be the best way. With a banking solution, there's no incentive then to improve their overall situation. People want to believe in Bitcoin because they've seen the horrors of money failing. They've seen it other places. They haven't seen it in the U.S. yet. Hyperinflation, corruption, etc. Might be worse than even war for the people. It doesn't mean Bitcoin is the solution, though. That's true. And it always happens over there. And while I think that that is a foolish way to think that it can happen anywhere, the odds of it happening in our backyard, in our front yard, in our yard, is very, very small. I'm talking about a currency collapse and hyperinflation. But it can happen. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but it could happen. We could have a black swan event, so it could happen. And I'm sure if it does happen, then we'll come up with some other solution. Wow. I'm a proponent, Bitcoin Bubble says, I'm a proponent of Bitcoin because our elders are saddling us down with trillions in debt because their elders did it to them. The buck stops here. Yeah, you know, every generation has said the same fucking thing. You're delusional if you think the buck stops. 5 Litecoins a month for the service. Is that what Litecoins are down to now? True Grit says that CNN still has their bomb threat. Probably something to delay tomorrow's events. Let's see, where am I? I'm an hour into the show. Check out Joe Rogan's podcast from earlier this week. He had Dr. Ben Gortz on, excuse me, the head of the crypto AI project Singularity Net. He sees the singularity reach within the next 5 to 30 years. That's quite a range. Especially when you take into consideration Moore's Law. That's a fucking huge range. It sounds like he really doesn't know. So if you were a scientist and someone said that, you know, technology basically increases at a doubling rate every year, and then you give a range of 5 to 30 years as a potential event happening, that means that you have no fucking clue. Amici Go is gone. That doesn't surprise me. Maybe their coin is gone, but they had a company behind that originally. I don't know if Amici Go, the coin, brought down the whole company. To question on why you're not getting more viewers, my opinion, this is Will Morahan saying, my opinion is it's easier to believe that things will go up than swallow the reality of things going down the drain, specifically crypto. And I agree with that. And I had thought about that when I was building my other channel. You know, maybe I should hype all the cryptos and everything. And then I said, but then I wouldn't be true to myself. And I said, nah, I couldn't just lie like that. And I built a pretty good channel, and it worked out. So I'm perfectly happy with where things are going. I'm just saying that I would like to see... I've gotten these streams up to about 80 people. But it's disappointing when you come out on a Wednesday night and there's, 69, 70 people. That's not bad. 70 people, I got to be happy with that. I would like to see it above 100. I think I deserve 100. It's just another 30 people. It would start getting a little bit more difficult to manage the chat here. So Dex for sure is saying that the most disturbing thing about AI deep learning right now, in my opinion, his opinion, is the ability to fake videos. People could be easily framed by faking video evidence. Yeah, well, they're not quite there yet. They're very close. They can fake voices. The video part is coming. And I've seen the best that they have to offer, and it's not quite there yet. And the whole idea of a world currency is such a bullshit idea anyways. It really is. It's an unworkable solution. All right. I'm gonna tie it up, wrap it up here. I want to thank everybody that came out and supported me. Thank you very much. I want you to go down and hit that like button right now, and if you can, go click the little bell there so that you get notified when I have a new stream. Now, generally, what I'm trying to do is have a show from at 11 o'clock in the morning and 11 o'clock in the evening. That way, I'm reaching American people and everybody else. So I think that's working out well. All right. So now I am going to go and turn off the stream. I'm giving you my stage directions. Stage left! Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Stop the stream. Stop it. Stop!